Hello everyone, welcome to Exploring with Cindy and Dan. Today we are taking you on an incredible journey through some of the best ports of call in Alaska: Juneau, Skagway, Ketchikan, and Victoria, Canada, plus a stunning scenic cruise through Glacier Bay National Park aboard the Royal Princess. We recently completed a 7-day inside passage cruise to Alaska, and our first stop is the charming capital city of Juneau. We can't wait to share this amazing adventure with you. So come aboard and explore with us. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss any of our travel highlights. Cruising through Alaska's Inside Passage feels like sailing into a dreamscape, where glassy waters connect towering fjords, snow-dusted peaks, and lush islands draped in mist. Each stop along the way, whether Ketchikan, Juneau, or Skagway, invites you to dive into authentic Alaskan life, from native heritage and frontier history to fresh seafood and outdoor adventures. More than a cruise, the Inside Passage is a journey into the heart of wild Alaska, where every mile brings a new moment of wonder and quiet connection with nature. The Royal Princess docked at Franklin Dock, with the town of Juneau within walking distance. Arrival was a little before 1:30 p.m., and all aboard time was at 8:45 p.m. Guests could disembark shortly after 1:30 p.m. Before heading ashore, please remember to bring your medallion, as it is required to exit and re-enter the ship, and carry a valid government-issued photo ID in case it's requested at security checkpoints. Upon your return, all bags will pass through a routine security scan. To comply with local regulations and avoid fines, please do not take food, flour, seed, or beverage, except water, off of the ship. If you booked a Princess organized shore excursion, be sure to check your tour ticket for meeting times and location before disembarking. Princess Cruise has been sailing the world for over 60 years. Known for its award-winning service, Princess reaches more than 335 destinations across the globe. And for us, Alaska remains the crown jewel of scenic cruising. That's why we keep coming back year after year. No two Alaskan journeys are ever the same. There's always something new to discover, and every cruise feels like a new, fresh adventure. Now we are heading to Mount Roberts Tramway, also known as the Gold Belt Tram. Offers one of the most breathtaking experiences in Southeast Alaska. Since its opening in 1996, this aerial tramway has become a must-do attraction for visitors arriving by cruise ship or exploring Juneau on foot. The tram departs from South Franklin Street, just steps from the cruise ship docks, and ascends 1,800 feet in a swift 6-minute ride. As you rise above the city, panoramic views of the Gastow Channel, Douglas Island, and the Chilkat Mountains unfold beneath you. The ride itself is smooth and narrated, offering insight into the region's geography and history. As of 2025, the all-day pass for the tram costs for adults $60, children from 3 to 12 $45, and children under 3 is free. We are just thrilled to be back in Alaska, this time aboard the Royal Princess. In fact, just a few weeks prior to this cruise, we embarked on a 17-day Ultimate Alaska cruise aboard the Grand Princess, continuing our love affair with this breathtaking region. Cruising to Alaska feels like entering another world, where towering glaciers, majestic mountains, and pristine fjords create breathtaking scenery at every turn. From the charms of ports like Juneau, Alaska's capital accessible only by boat or plane, to unforgettable outdoor adventures and encounters with incredible wildlife. Every moment connects you to nature's raw beauty. Enriched by vibrant indigenous culture, arts, and traditions, Alaska offers an experience that's both awe-inspiring and deeply authentic. A true bucket list destination for any lover of adventure and the great outdoors. Tucked along Juneau's waterfront, the Alaska Shirt Company that you're looking at right now is a lively celebration of Alaskan spirit. The store offers cozy hoodies, flannels, and playful t-shirts featuring moose, bear, and the Northern Lights. With its rustic charm and friendly staff sharing stories of life in the last frontier, it's a must-visit spot for anyone looking to take home a piece of Alaska. Downtown Juneau is a charming blend of history and nature, where colorful historic buildings from the Gold Rush era line narrow streets that hug the water's edge. From the seawalk along the channel, you can watch boats reefed beneath the towering mountains, while a short ride on the Mount Roberts Tramway lifts you into panoramic views of glaciers and forests. Many shops and galleries showcase Alaska native art and local craft, and cozy cafes and historic saloons invite you to linger. Every corner feels alive with the stories of the past, yet nature is never far away. Hiking trails and hidden viewpoints make it easy to slip from the bustle of town into serene wilderness within minutes. Now we are walking towards Tracy's King Crab Shack. It's a restaurant that's suggested by our cruise director. You can eat the biggest crab legs in town. Each crab leg could be as long as your arm. Tracy King Crab Shack was born out of a dream to give people the ultimate Alaskan experience. Here in Alaska, the wilderness and wildlife often spill right into the port towns. For example, in Juneau, as you walk into town, look up at the trees along the sidewalk or at the rooftops near the harbor. You might spot bald eagles perched above or even see a black bear wandering through downtown. Juneau, Alaska's capital, began as a gold mining camp in 1880 and became the territorial capital in 1900. The area was originally home to the Tlingit people, who fished the salmon-rich waters long before modern settlement began in the late 19th century. Gold fever struck when mining engineer George Pills offered a reward for gold, leading Chief Cowie to present a nugget that sparked the founding of the town by Pills' partners, Richard Harris and Joseph Juneau, initially called Harrisburg. Locals later renamed it as Juneau. Established as a state capital in 1906, it remains unique as the largest U.S. capital by land area and the only one bordering a foreign country. By the end of World War II, more than 150 million in gold had been mined. Though the mines have since closed, today, with around 30,000 residents, Juneau is celebrated for its glaciers, mountains, and stunning coastal views. Located in southeast Alaska, 900 air miles north of Seattle and 600 southeast of Anchorage, Juneau spans about 3,000 square miles and is the only state capital in the U.S. without road access. Summers are mild, with average highs in 60s to 80s, and the city receives about 86 inches of precipitation each year. Here in downtown Juneau, floatplane tours offers an unforgettable way to see Alaska from the air. Departing right from the waterfront, these small seaplanes soar over lush forests, rugged coastlines, and the massive Juneau ice field, giving breathtaking views of glaciers like the Taku Glacier. Some tours even land at remote lodge for a wilderness meal before flying back. With window seats for every passenger and expert narration along the way, a flight scene tour here is a thrilling mix of adventure and natural beauty, all just minutes from the heart of the city. Visitors can also explore local gift shops for souvenirs or visit banks like the First National Bank, Wells Fargo, and Key Bank. And for more information, you can stop by one of the two visitor centers in downtown, the main cruise ship terminal visitor information center at 470 South Franklin Street or the Marine Park kiosk at 292 Marine Way. One of the best points of interest here in Juneau is the Mendenhall Glacier. It is a glacier 12 miles long and half a mile wide, and it is 300 to 1,800 feet deep. This glacier has been slowly retreating since the mid-1700s. This glacier is just 12 miles from downtown Juneau, and visitors can also reach it by bus, taxi, or a Princess Excursion tour bus. A couple of years ago, Dan and I were picked up by a friend who has been living here in Juneau for a long time, and she brought us to the Mendenhall Visitor Center, and we were able to see the glaciers. And back in 2000, Dan used to fly the tour helicopters by one of the companies here in Juneau, and he would land on top of a glacier. He said it was absolutely amazing. The glacier flight scene in one of these seaplanes is absolutely awesome. You will fly over the massive Juneau ice field and get a front row seat to the Mendenhall Glacier. You can see spectacular ice falls that are accessible only from the air. A glacier excursion is also the Mendenhall Glacier and Whale Quest excursion. After you finish with your excursion, you can do a self-guided walking tour in the pier area and visit some of the favorite locations like the Red Dog Saloon, where you can stop there for a microbrew or try some of the restaurants. If you are wondering how many hours of daylight they really have in Alaska, I can tell you that on June 21st, the longest day of the year, The sun shines on Juneau for 18 hours and 18 minutes, and on December 21st, the shortest day of the year, there are only 6 hours and 21 minutes of daylight. Juneau is also home to Heritage Coffee, an international award-winning roaster, and also the Alaskan Brewing Company, one of America's most decorated craft breweries. Now we are in Skagway, and Skagway is our second port of call. Royal Princess docked at Railroad Aft Dock. As a result of a landslide back in 2023, the railroad dock is closed for pedestrians. However, a complimentary water shower service from the ship was available from the ship to the end of the pier and is mandatory for all guests, either with independent arrangements or with Princess organized shore excursions. Our arrival was a little before 6:30 a.m. and the all-aboard time was at 8 p.m. Guests could disembark shortly after 6:30 a.m. once the gangway were open. Just listen for the announcement. The ride to the pier was less than 7 minutes and it was fun. The town of Skagway was founded in 1897 and officially incorporated in 1900. Nested in a narrow glaciated valley at the head of the Taiya Inlet, it sits roughly 90 miles northwest of Juneau, and despite its small year-round population of about 1,036 residents, Skagway burst to life in the summer when tourists arrive, often doubling the population. Back in gold rush days, it swelled to nearly 10,000 people. Thanks to its relatively dry climate, it gets just 27 inches of rain per year. Skagway proudly holds the title of Sunshine Capital of Southeast Alaska. Visitors from the Yukon often escape to the lingering cold of spring by traveling south to Skagway. The town's original name was Skagwa, given by the Tlingit people native to the region. Over time, outsiders altered the spelling, and in 1899, the post office officially adopted the name Skagway. Always keep your eyes peeled for wildlife while in port. Wildlife sightseeing are part of the adventure. A couple of cruises ago, we even saw a black bear family right here in Skagway. This is the train shop where the White Pass Summit excursion is located. The train ride is from 2 to 3 hours round trip and it costs $150 per person. The bus ride costs you $52, and always bring your passport because you will be crossing into Canada. The departures time are in the morning at 7:30 and 8:30 in the morning, afternoon 12:30 and 1:30. But prices may vary, so double check at the train shop. We are now arriving at the main visitor center in Skagway. They have clean restrooms and a little museum, and in the back there is a theater where you can watch for free a short film of the gold fever, Race to the Klondike. The walk from the pier to the downtown area is around 10 to 15 minutes. Skagway played a vital role during the gold rush era, drawing thousands of hopeful prospectors to Alaska and the Yukon in search of fortune. While it offered the shortest route to the Klondike, it certainly wasn't the easiest. Over a century ago, stampeders braved two legendary trails, the White Pass, cutting through the rugged coast mountains, and the Chilkoot Trail, shorter but dangerously steep. Many perished trying to cross it. The town of Skagway is rich with history and dotted with charming museums. Although some might have limited hours due to staffing shortage, the town was deeply impacted by the pandemic. So supporting local businesses, from buying souvenirs to dining at restaurants, is a great way to help them. In Skagway, history is literally written on walls. As you wander the wooden sidewalks of the historic district, interpretive panels and windows displays transform the town into an open-air museum, telling tales of gold rush pioneers, railroad builders, and the diverse people who shaped the frontier. At the waterfront, for example, a massive granite wall is etched with the signature of ship's crews arriving over decades, a living record of maritime history. And every building, alley, and panel invites you to pause, read, and imagine life in a town where the past still hums through its streets, making history feel immediate and alive. This is, for example, one of the free museums named Corrington Museum of Alaskan History. A small, yet fascinating museum and gift shop featuring exhibits on native cultures, the Civil War and Gold Rush, reindeer herding, the sinking of the Princess Sophia, aviation and World War II, the Iditarod Trail sled dog race, and more. Skagway is called the Garden City of Alaska because of its surprisingly lush and well-tended gardens, which stand out in contrast to the rugged northern Alaskan environment. Despite its subarctic climate and rocky terrain, the town's residents have historically cultivated colorful gardens full of flowers, vegetables, and ornamental plants, creating an oasis in an area where such greenery is uncommon. Del Sol is a colorful shop that seems almost magical. Inside, shelves are lined with shirts, hats, and accessories that transform before your eyes when touched by sunlight, thanks to a special color-changing technology. Tourists from cruise ship and travelers alike stop to watch their purchases shift from one vibrant hue to another. As you can see on this video, Skagway is a beautiful city, but don't forget to check out some excursions. For example, you can do the White Pass and Yukon Route Railroad, one of the most scenic railways in the world. 41-mile round-trip journey to nearly 3,000 feet elevation and links Skagway to Yukon, Canada, with breathtaking views. And another passenger's favorite excursion is the Gold Rush History Excursion. This excursion visits authentic Gold Rush camps, and you can pan for gold and meet costume characters who recreate life from the 1800s. Look at these beautiful Alaskan dolls. I bought a white one for my niece and she absolutely loved it. Skagway is our favorite port of call in Alaska. No matter where you wander or what you do, you will feel like you've stepped back in time. This is the Moore Homestead. You can explore the oldest structure in Skagway, built in 1887 on land originally claimed by William and Ben Moore. Inside the museum, 2 rooms have been restored to showcase Victorian-era charm, while others highlight life in a frontier town, including the interracial marriage between Ben Moore and Tlingit native Saya Yet. Now we are approaching Eagle Hall, home of the Days of 98 show. This classic red and white building hosts one of the longest running shows in the world since 1923. Shows are daily from May through September, 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 2:30 p.m., and there are occasional evening performances, especially in the middle of summer. It is a 1 hour of Klondike Gold Rush themed musical theater. Stepping into the Skagway Museum and Archives feels like stepping back in time, housed in a historic building that once served as a school and courthouse. The museum is filled with photographs, artifacts, and stories from the Klondike Gold Rush and beyond. This is the Mascot Saloon exhibit. Step inside a restored early 1900s bar, another free museum in downtown Skagway. It was built around March of 1898 and it was closed in 1899 due to the new saloon license fees of $1,500 a year. Restored to its 1905 to 1916 appearance, located on the southeast corner of Broadway and 3rd Avenue, it's now part of the National Park Foundation and a must-see historical site. There is another entrance at the back of the museum, and you will also find clean bathrooms there. Now we are heading back to the ship to meet up with the rest of our family, but first a few more gems to explore. For those with a sweet tooth, check out the 2 shops selling amazing elephant ears and flavored popcorn. They're truly a treat. The Red Onion Saloon, once Skagway's most exclusive bordello during the Gold Rush, today it's a bar, museum, and a restaurant, and is now recognized as a National Historic Building. On this cruise, we're just doing a walking tour of the cities, so we can show you what to do while in these towns. A few years ago, we did the White Pass and Yukon Route Railroad excursion with some friends, and it was fascinating. The scenic railway of the world links Skagway with the Yukon, Canada, and that was something very special for us. I know it will be an excursion that you will definitely enjoy. This is Glacier Bay National Park, and it is our scenic cruising marvel. You wake up just before sunrise and step onto the ship's deck. The bay stretches out like a giant mirror, fog drifting between all granite peaks. The cruise ship glides forward, sending gentle ripples across the calm water, a quiet sign that a new day of adventure in Alaska is beginning. As morning light touches Bartlett Cove, the entrance to Glacier Bay National Park, park rangers board the ship. Dressed in forest green jackets and white hats, they bring knowledge and a deep connection to the wilderness. These rangers are guides and storytellers. They share information about glaciers, wildlife, and the Huna Tlingit people, Glacier Bay's first inhabitants. Glacier Bay was once a solid sheet of ice, over 4,000 feet thick, stretching for miles, just over 250 years ago. Explorers like Captain George Vancouver saw only ice where the bay is now. As the glaciers retreated, the landscape transformed, exposing fjords, forests, and valleys, creating thriving habitats. Naturalist John Muir later celebrated this dramatic change, showing the world Glacier Bay as a living example of nature's power and resilience. Tucked along the west arm of Glacier Bay, Gloomy Knob stands as a striking and memorable landmark. This massive granite outcrop rises sharply from the surrounding landscape, its gray, weathered surface offering a dramatic contrast to the lush greenery and icy waters nearby. Its somber appearance likely inspired the name Gloomy, but the site is anything but dull. What truly sets Gloomy Knob apart is its unique geology. The exposed granite, shaped and smoothed by ancient glacial activity, provides a rare glimpse into the park's bedrock history. Gloomy Knob is a favorite stop for wildlife watchers, especially those hoping to spot mountain goats. The steep, rugged cliff makes ideal terrain for these agile animals, and is one of the best places in the park to see them climbing effortlessly along the rock face. Cruise ships and tour boats often pause nearby, giving passengers a chance to take in the scene and, if they're lucky, catch a glimpse of these elusive creatures. After passing Gloomy Knob, the first tidewater glacier you're mostly likely to see is Reed Glacier, entering along the western side of the bay's main channel. From there, the cruise typically continues deeper into the bay. A tidewater glacier is a type of glacier that flows all the way down to the ocean and ends in the sea, where it directly interacts with salt water. Unlike glaciers that terminate on land, tidewater glaciers often break off or calve into the ocean, creating dramatic ice falls and floating icebergs. These glaciers are influenced by tides, ocean currents, and temperature, which can affect their movement and melting patterns. Their dynamic nature makes them a highlight of places like Glacier Bay National Park, where glaciers such as Marjorie, Johns Hopkins, Lamplugh, and Reed offer unforgettable views. A park ranger once told us that glaciers appear blue because of the way dense ice interacts with light. Over time, falling snow compresses under its own weight and transforms into solid glacial ice, squeezing out most of the air bubbles into the process. This dense ice behaves differently from regular snow or ice cubes. It absorbs light rather than reflecting it. As sunlight enters the glacier, the longer wavelengths of light, like red, orange, and yellow, are absorbed quickly. The shorter wavelengths, particularly blue, are scattered and reflected back, giving the ice its distinctive blue color. The richer and deeper the blue, the denser and older the ice tends to be. While fresh snow looks white because it reflects all wavelengths of light, glacial ice that has been compressed over many years becomes increasingly blue. It's one of nature's most beautiful optical effects, turning compacted snow and ice into glowing shades of blue that are iconic in places like Glacier Bay. The complete history of Glacier Bay National Park is very fascinating, so take a moment to read your brochures and map that was handed to you by your stateroom attendant the night before we arrived at Glacier Bay National Park. And don't forget to bring your Glacier Bay map to the World Fresh Marketplace Buffet or the Horizon Buffet if you are following the commentary of park rangers. It is very handy. You can follow the map along with the commentaries and you will know exactly where you are in the national park. This is Lamplugh Glacier. It's one of the most visually captivating glaciers in the park. Originated from the Brady icefield, Lamplugh is classified as a tidewater glacier. This unique feature makes it easily accessible to cruise ships and sightseeing vessels, offering visitors an up-close encounter with one of nature's most powerful and mesmerizing forces. We've been at the Glacier Bay National Park many times, but for us this is the second time that we actually see the Lamplugh Glacier looks more blue now than in the past, and it's mainly because the ice has become denser and clearer. Park rangers explained to us that in the open ocean the water was normal light blue color, but at the fjord it's lime blue. The reason for that is that there is a lot of sediments in the ocean. As the glacier moves across land, it grinds down rocks into a fine powder called rock flour, and when the iceberg drafts off the glacier, it deposits that crushed rock into the water. Rock flour or glacier flour consists of fine-grained, silt-sized particles of rock, and it doesn't sink and it floats on the top of the water, giving the water a murky green color. Margerie Glacier stands as one of the most iconic and scientifically important glaciers in the region, spanning approximately 21 miles in length and about a mile wide at its base. This majestic tidewater glacier flows directly into the sea, creating a dramatic landscape that captivates both scientists and visitors alike. Its significance extends across ecological, geological, cultural, and economic dimensions. At the heart of its importance is Margerie Glacier's role in the region's glacier ecosystem. As a tidewater glacier, it calves icebergs directly into the ocean, an essential process that fuels the surrounding marine food web. The cold, nutrient-rich waters around the glacier sustains an abundance of wildlife, including seals, sea otters, and humpback whales. Bird species like puffins and bald eagles are frequently seen nearby, drawn by the thriving fish populations. Additionally, the calving process helps regulate oceanic salinity and temperature in the bay, contributing to marine biodiversity in the region. On this cruise, we were able to see bears along the shoreline of the park and also on the mountains. This was our second time that we saw bears at Glacier Bay National Park, and it was absolutely amazing. When on a cruise or a kayak trip in Glacier Bay, guides often point out the spots where bears are known to roam, especially near the beaches with easy access to food. It's important to observe bears from a safe distance and never approach them, as they are wild animals. From all the glaciers we saw at Glacier Bay National Park, I think Margerie Glacier was one of the most fascinating glaciers. It's far more than a frozen river of ice. It's a vibrant part of a larger system that supports biodiversity, scientific discovery, cultural heritage, economic livelihood, and education. Protecting it means safeguarding not only a natural wonder, but also the many values it represents in an ever-changing world. The park rangers who came onto our ship in the morning set up their educational tools, today's schedule of the Glacier Bay National Park scenic hours, and their store inside one of the lounges in the ship. On this ship, they have their store inside the Vista Lounge. The National Park Service brings rangers, cultural interpreters, and sometimes Huna Tlingit guides on board. It's a highlight for many guests, offering insight into the park's history, ecology, and native heritage. You can buy books, maps, shirts, or any other type of souvenir of Glacier Bay National Park. On this cruise, we didn't have the opportunity to cruise by the Johns Hopkins Glacier, but I can tell you that unlike many glaciers around the world that are retreating due to climate change, Johns Hopkins Glacier stands out as one of the few in the park that is actively advancing. Stretching roughly 12 miles in length, it flows from the towering peaks of the Fairweather Range into the icy waters of Johns Hopkins Inlet. From a scientific perspective, Johns Hopkins provides unique insight into glacier behavior and resilience. Its advancing status makes it a focal point for researchers studying the environmental conditions such as snowfall accumulation, ice thickness, and subglacial ecology that influence glacier movement. In essence, the Johns Hopkins Glacier is also more than just a scenic landmark. It's a dynamic and essential part of Glacier Bay's natural system. Its continued advance highlights the complexity of glacial responses in a rapid changing climate. This is our third port of call of our cruise, Ketchikan. The ship docked at Pier 2 with the town of Ketchikan within walking distance. We arrived here before 7:30 a.m. and the all aboard was at 12:45 p.m. We were allowed to exit the ship just a little bit after 7:30 in the morning. We are doing a self-guided walking tour of the city. We will walk through downtown Ketchikan and the famous Creek Street, said to be the most photographed street in Alaska. We will show you a couple of museums, restaurants, and the best souvenir stores in Ketchikan. Ketchikan is known as Alaska's first city because it's the first major community travelers come to as they journey north. Located on an island, Ketchikan began life as an Indian fishing camp. The name Ketchikan comes from the Tlingit phrase that means eagle with the spread out wings, a reference to a waterfall near town. Visitors to Ketchikan will love the rich native heritage, which includes the world's oldest collection of totem poles at the Totem Heritage Center. The Haida, the Tlingit, are all part of the city's colorful history. Ketchikan, with its abundance of salmon, is also a sport fishing paradise, and it is also known as the salmon capital of the world. Ketchikan's real history dates back to 1883 when a man named Snow built a salmon saltery. By 1900, with a population of 800, the town was officially incorporated. Ketchikan is located on the western coast of Revillagigedo Island, near the southernmost boundary in Alaska. It is 679 miles north of Seattle and 235 miles south of Juneau. Its population is 8,142 within city limits, with a total population including surrounding areas of 13,686. Ketchikan is the seventh most populated city in Alaska. The temperature in Ketchikan is in the low 60s during peak summer months, and it has an average of 152 inches of rain per year. Ketchikan is the salmon capital of the world, as you can see here in the sign. Logging also became an important industry for Ketchikan, and cruise ships started coming to the city through the inside passage, making Ketchikan a popular port of call. Ketchikan is only accessible by sea and air. Most visitors arrive on large and small cruise ships, and independent travelers can reach Ketchikan on Alaska Marine Highway with the state ferry system. Here at the downtown area, you will see that it's the main commercial district of Ketchikan and contains two large harbors with several cruise ship docks. Since we arrived with Princess Cruise, we were able to dock next to the main harbor at Pier 2, within walking distance from downtown Ketchikan. Downtown centerpiece is Creek Street. Now it's full of shops and art galleries, but Creek Street was once the red light district, and we will be showing you in this video. There are multiple souvenir stores in downtown Ketchikan, and a popular one is the Tongass Trading Company. It is the city's most iconic souvenir and general store, blending local heritage with modern Alaskan charm, but we prefer the Salmon Landing Market. Right here, you can find a vibrant hub where Alaskan's maritime charm meets the excitement of its bustling tourism scene. As you can see, this marketplace welcomes visitors with colorful storefronts, wooden boardwalks, and the scent of sea air mingling with fresh coffee and smoked salmon samples. It's located just across from the famous Great Alaskan Lumberjack Show. The world champion athletes compete in a springboard chopping, back sewing, axe throwing, log rolling, and a 5-foot tree climb that you do not want to miss. We finally arrived at Creek Street. It is a historic boardwalk district that is a must-see attraction here in this city. It's a short walk from the docks, maybe 11 minutes walk from the cruise ship terminal. It is a boardwalk built on stilts over Ketchikan Creek east of downtown. It was once a red light district and home to more than 30 bordellos from 1903 until 1954. Here you can visit the Dolly's House Museum, view totem poles, shop at local stores and multiple galleries, or enjoy the local art and culture. And you can also walk through the Married Man's Trail, which is a trail that winds through the streets and offers views of the town and the harbor below. Creek Street, originally built in the early 1900s, is a narrow boardwalk constructed above tidal flats to accommodate rapid growth in the region due to fishing, logging, and gold rush activity. It quickly became a hub of commerce, logging, and nightlife catering to frontier workers, earning a reputation as one of the most iconic streets in the Pacific Northwest. Creek Street is more than just a boardwalk. It's a living storybook that weaves together architecture, frontier, resilience, cultural transformation, and ecological wonders. Its narrow planks carry the footprints of miners, artists, madams, and dreamers, ensuring that each visitor becomes part of its ever-unfolding tale. The Tongass Historical Museum is a small but fascinating museum that tells the story of the region. It shows how the area grew from a Tlingit summer fish camp to a busy town with salmon canneries and logging. Visitors can see artifacts and art from the Tlingit and Haida cultures, along with exhibits about Ketchikan's history and industry. Ketchikan has the world's largest collection of totem poles, and they are easily found in the downtown area, in museums and totem parks. If you want to book an excursion, you should try the Totem State Park. It's a walk in a peaceful forest in a park home of 14 totem poles and a replica of a 19th century clan house offering a look into the Tlingit and Haida native Alaskan culture. Another good excursion is the Misty Fjords National Monument. You can take in the dramatic beauty of a land slowly crafted by nature. You will find 1,000-foot waterfalls and crystal lakes. And another great excursion is the Saxman Native Village, where you can experience a rich living culture of the Tlingit as they welcome you into their village. If you want to know more about excursions in Ketchikan, check out the Princess website or check the locals tours located just when you disembark your ship. And this is our last port of call, Victoria in Canada. We arrived around 9 p.m. with an all-aboard time set for 11:30 p.m. Guests were able to disembark shortly after 9:15 p.m. once the gangways were open. A 7-day inside passage cruise lets you explore the town in 2.5 hours, and we believe that's not enough time, but on our previous cruise we arrived in Victoria early in the morning, so we will show you some video clips of that time in Victoria. Once you disembark, you can head over the Ogden Point gift shop. Unlike most tourist shops, this one feels more like a curated collection of local goods. Inside, you will find handcrafted goods, beautiful jewelry, art prints, scarves, and textiles made by locals. Victoria souvenirs from postcards and magnets to t-shirts, or native artwork, or local delicacies, especially teas, jams, and other food items that capture the flavors of the area. The shop is the perfect place to find something unique that embodies the spirit of Victoria. Whether you're looking for a keepsake or a local culinary treat, you will find it here. There is also a small artisan marketplace just outside the gift shop. At Ogden Point in Victoria, cruise ship passengers have a variety of transportation options to easily explore the city and nearby attractions. You will find shuttle buses, regular shuttles that run between the terminal and downtown Victoria that offer quick and affordable rides to key spots like the Inner Harbor and Fisherman's Wharf. You will find taxi and rideshare like Uber or Lyft, public transportation, private transfer and tours, bike rentals, which are around 20 to 30 Canadian dollars, harbor ferries, and you can walk also from Ogden Point. It's just a short stroll from nearby attractions. This is Fisherman's Wharf, a floating village of colorful houseboats and fresh seafood stands. Situated on the southern tip of Vancouver Island, the wharf has always been a symbol of the city's deep connection to the sea, a place where the past and present coexist. The walk from Fisherman's Wharf to the Inner Harbor in downtown Victoria is about 15 to 20 more minutes, and it's definitely a pleasant stroll. And now we're getting to Inner Harbor. It's the city's heart, a vibrant waterfront area that draws both locals and visitors, surrounded by the iconic historic buildings like the Parliament Buildings, the Fairmount Empress Hotel, and the Royal BC Museum. The harbor is a lively, picturesque spot known for its stunning views and variety of activities. Now we are inside the Parliament Building. The rotundas are visual highlights, both the lower and the memorial rotundas, captivate with soaring ceiling and exquisite details, marble, gilding, and 4 painted murals representing BC's foundational industry, farming, fishing, mining, and forestry. They all adorn the walls. Admission is free for both guided or self-guided tours with regular weekday hours from 8:30 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, and summer tours running daily including weekends. This is the Legislative Assembly Chamber. It offers a behind-the-scenes glimpse into BC's legislative process. Visitors can observe debates from the public gallery when the legislature is in session, offering insight into provincial governance. Across from the Parliament buildings, on Belleville Street, you will find the Royal BC Museum and Thunderbird Park. On the other corner, you will find the Empress Hotel, an Edwardian-era gem opened in 1908. It's famous for its afternoon tea served in fine china. Even if you are not staying there, stepping into the lobby is like walking back in time. Now we are heading to the Visitor Center in Victoria's Inner Harbor. This center is more than just a place to grab a map. It's a welcoming hub designed to help you make the most of your time in the city. They offer maps, free maps, brochures, and transit guides, making it easy to navigate the city, even without relying on your phone. If you are looking to book an experience, the Visitor Center is a trusted spot for tours and ticket booking. From whale watching and Butchart Gardens excursion to wine tours, museum passes, and more. Government Street is one of Victoria's most iconic and pedestrian-friendly main street, stretching from the Inner Harbor north through downtown and toward Poland Point. Along the way, it's adorned with historic landmarks, heritage architecture, and a wide array of shops and eateries. This makes it a beloved destination for both tourists and locals alike. Water transportation is part of the harbor's charm, and it's more than just a way to get around, it's an experience. Victoria Harbor ferries, known as pickle boats, cruise the calm waters like little green taxis. In Victoria's Inner Harbor, transportation, shopping, and dining aren't separate experiences. They flow into each other like the tide. One moment you are drifting across the water, the next you are savoring a cone or watching a craftsman etch glass with delicate precision. It's not just a place to visit, it's one you feel. Cruising to Alaska and Canada is always a breathtaking experience, immersing passengers in the wild beauty of the last frontier. From towering glaciers and rugged mountains to pristine wilderness, every view feels alive. Thank you for watching our video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notification bell to catch our next video from another amazing part of the world. Thank you.